1964 is an important year in Fender history because when you look at the instruments that they were making in 1964, they were really what we like to call in the custom shop, they were really kind of swinging and hitting the ball squarely at that time. And 1964 has a bunch of really cool instruments, this being one, the Strat, the P-Bass, everything was really firing on all cylinders, and the instruments that came out in 1964, when you look at them, the original ones, they're just really well put together. Everything's nice and tight in the neck pockets, and you didn't have a lot of the inconsistencies throughout the years. There were some inconsistencies and stuff. In 1964, Leo had more of a hands-on type of a thing. I think it's reflected in the instruments. My philosophy, my personal philosophy on how things get built and the quality and all that stuff is the mindset of the people who are building them. And I think that in '64, you know, Leo had really kind of honed his crew into a real tight-knit organization. They were really proud of what they were doing, so I think that that's reflected in these. Well, the L-Series neck plate is interesting and why collectors really kind of put them in high regard, and they're very collectible. The story goes that back in the 60s, late 63, 64, Fender had made about 100,000 instruments, and so they went to get new neck plates made, and when they did that, they sent them off to the place to have them engraved and all that stuff, and they were supposed to say 1, and then the rest of the numbers and all that stuff, and they came back and they said L. And so, you know, of course they were like, well, we're not going to remake them, so let's just go ahead and use those. And so they used them, and so when you see them, when collectors see them, oh, it's an L-Series, you know, and they're really collectible. Even the neck plates alone go for a lot of money when you find them. We haven't used the L-Series neck plates before. They are exclusive just to the 1964 models. We want to be able to offer that on a certain thing, you know. We don't want to do that all the time because then it gets watered down, and we really try to preserve the integrity of things like that when they come up, historical things. So they're only available this year for the '64 models. The significance of the round lamb fingerboard, which is what they started doing in about 1963, and you'll see it on the 1964 instruments that we're doing. When you look at the end of the fingerboard, it looks like the fingerboard is actually curved. It's cut that way. There's a convex and a concave cut on the maple and the rosewood, and so they fit together like a puzzle, like this. It's really interesting because when you do that, the lamination is very, very firm. It seems to be a little bit sturdier, stronger. So when they did that, the necks react to vibration differently, and when you put the instrument together, they seem to have a really sustained type of a sound. They're a little bit more stable. So when you adjust the neck stays where it's at, you know, instead of moving with the weather and all that stuff. So it's just an interesting part of the construction process that Fender did, and it's really unique to Fender. I don't see a lot of guys doing that when they build guitars. Anytime Fender kind of tips their hat to an historical thing that we've done, it always adds value, and people tend to hang on to those guitars. We're only going to offer these for 2014. The reason why we do that is we like to keep things fresh. We like to keep things moving around in the custom shop. It keeps the instruments collectible, and we'll do that just to acknowledge the anniversary. So these will only be available for 2014. You can go to a showcase dealer at fendercustomshop.com, and you can see all of the anniversary models and all the other guitars that we're offering for this year.